Lonesome Road, New Vegas' hardest challenge. Recommended for players levels 25 and above. Before you know it, Deathclaws, Tunnelers, and hordes of marked men will be coming at you as if the Wolf of Wall Street was dropping the soap near Mad Max, on purpose. And I know it's not that kind of bare bull rant, but man, I'll just deliver mail. How was I supposed to know that a package I cannot remember blew up a Cox vacation home in the post-apocalypse? Dreadlock's voice, so mad his newfound purpose became to tell us his life story while trying to convince us that it's our turn to watch our favorite little corner of the world get chemo. Well, today I'm giving this a go at level 1, on very hard difficulty with hardcore mode on. I've got to enter Canyon Wreckage with the lowest experience points possible. I cannot defend myself in combat until my feet touch the barren soil of the Divide. I'll be going in with nothing but a Pip-Boy, 18 caps, and our trusty Vault 13 canteen. I am not allowed to use the laser detonator glitch or to come back to the Mojave until both the DLC credits hit and a certain unique enemy roared her last roar, cause I'm stupid. And if I make it, I'll go on to show the new toys I gathered on the Divide to Leggett Lanese. This one's gonna be rough, so let's aim high. Can we get 500 likes? Can you beat Fallout New Vegas' Lonesome Road at level 1? A tickle to the brain and a weird dream later, and the tale of Beatrix Keto begins. With 10 in endurance, 9 in intelligence, 7 strength and luck, 5 agility, and 1 in both perception and charisma. Her best skills are lockpick, melee weapons, and repair, and the traits that most define her are skilled and wild wastelands. Doc Mitchell patched me up, gave me a Pip-Boy, and for that, he'll be inheriting nearly everything I've ever owned. We'll call it a little payment for his services, and these bare feet were made for walking, so that's what I'll do. Approaching Gene, the game asks you if you want to redo your traits, and I very much want to exploit skilled, and get those additional 5 points to every skill. The experience penalty doesn't stack, and here's where I was off to a great start, plus 9 XP. From what? From nothing. That did throw me off for a bit, but those are the 9 XP you get for leaving Doc Mitchell's house and having good springs marked on your map. Speaking of which, if I want to enter the Divide with the lowest possible experience points, there's only 2 unavoidable locations I'm allowed to discover. Good Springs and the Canyon Wreckage, where the DLC begins. And there is no way to avoid Prim's map marker as far as I know, so the long way around we go. Much like I did in Dead Money, Honest Hearts and Old World Blues, you just gotta keep your distance from Sloan, and sticking to the other side of the train tracks does it. As for Neil's shack, it gets a bit trickier. Getting atop the hill a bit past it can be a nuisance. Then, the Vegas skip. You just gotta jump on the right side of the right rock and hope the Deathclaws don't see you. They usually don't, but it wouldn't be the first time one came up here to give me a free hug. Next, the second you're close to Repcon's HQ, you're safe until Freeside. But to get near to Prim, we're gonna have to go through near the 188 trading post. Once again, keeping a safe distance, I saw the Lonesome Drifter. The ants didn't seem bothered when I made my way to Helios 1 and through Novak. And then we just gotta keep going through Wolfhorn Ranch and into Nipton using the same path that Wolpez and his men use. And another desert stroll later, it's the other side of Prim. Ah, fuck. Nope, gotta reload. I cannot get the drive-in's map marker. How would this even be a challenge if I had an extra 9 experience points? Disgusting. After a couple tries, I managed to find the right path, but the right path had a feral ghoul insisting on bitch slapping me. I got on a hill, that confused the ghoul's pathing. A coyote kept staring menacingly at me but did not approach, and so I just made a run for it. Got the Canyon Wreckage's map marker on my Pip-Boy, saw a couple more coyotes, they didn't seem hungry. And there we have it. The easy part has been completed, and this is where the challenge begins. The game insists that we can go back and forth between the Divide and the Mojave. Not doing that. And now we look for weapons, armor, and items to sell later. And it might not be armor, but I'll very much take those pre-war clothes. There's plenty of random stuff around, half of which I'll only find out after coming back here after clearing the silo. But nothing that will make a tremendous difference, it's all just to give me a proper head start. I found some energy cells, a meal ready to eat, couple med-axes, decided to wear the dirty pre-war casual wear, that +1 agility looks a lot better than the +5 to speech. They also found a piece of turbo and 6 missiles. In the Hopeville Ballistic Defense Station, the looting continues, with useless junk and a skill magazine. But unlocking the maintenance access door to progress, puts us in front of an arc welder, or first weapon of the run. A breathing mask, my lack of lockpicks, more ammo, and 8 items, 2 mini nukes, and high-tech junk that will fetch a pretty penny. We also see a maintenance bot control terminal where a companion awaits, Eddie. He'll unlock Commissary's forest to trade with, and we are introduced to his backstory.
Ralphie! Fly far, fly fast!
The most important thing we need to know is that there are 2 Eddies. The one in the Mojave is the original. This one is a blank iBot that had the original's memories imprinted onto it. We can invite Eddie to join us. In fact, we need him to do it so we can keep going through the silo, and that triggers the first log.
This is Dr. Whitley presiding. We've boosted signal gain and enlarged the overflow buffer system. That should ensure 100% connectivity and control.
We learn that Eddie can override electronic security, and we can hear some happy beepings if we're nice to him. It seems that Eddie genuinely cares about Dr. Whitley, who we'll learn more about later. Something else that's worth mentioning is that if you got Repair 25, you can use Eddie as a crafting station. And if you've got Guns 25, you can use him as a reloading bench. He unlocks the first commissary, and after taking a quick glance, I'm glad there's a lot of ammo and explosives, but there's pretty much nothing worth buying right now. So I just sold all the meaningless stuff I had on me for 200 caps, did a little fit check, and I had Eddie unlock the door we needed to open to keep going. We see a rocket, some other iBots performing maintenance, or at least pretending to, and behind the locked door the most interesting items are electron charge packs. That was a waste of time. Back in the corridor and there's a destroyed iBot. With an upgrade we can install on Eddie. And not only can we use him to repair our weapons now, but this carries over to the original Eddie that's still taking a nap in Prem. I found some more steam packs, hacked the terminal to deactivate the second level robot security, which was but one sentry bot. It just had ammo and was surrounded by junk. And atop the stairs, we see 2 marked men. One is cosplaying as a painting. The other is testing how much back pain you'd get if you slept on the wrong side of a Fallout locker. All that matters is that I keep hoarding literally everything. Fission batteries, more missiles, and ammo. But what I'm looking forward to is armor. Wall guises cannot be looted, but locker guises can. And he's also holding to a Bowie knife. The marked scout armor has +6 damage thresholds. It boosts your sneak, and we even keep the +1 to agility, so that is a no-brainer. Now that we're ready, it's time to go and face a sentry bot. It takes a couple cheap shots at me. I get down to half health in no time. Normally I wouldn't stand a chance, but the sentries got a bit distracted, with Eddie joining the fight. Started attacking him instead of me, and that gave the arc welder enough leeway to finish the job.
Dr. Grant? What the hell do you think you're doing?
Whitley, there you are. Orders from Colonel Autumn. He feels the iBot Duraframe project isn't advancing quickly enough. I'm to...
You didn't even disengage his damage avoidance protocols. You're hurting him!
Seems that Dr. Whitley cares a lot about Eddie, and this got me to level 2. I distributed the points between lockpick, melee, repair, and science, took on the Black Widow perk, and on the room the sentry was guarding, it seems that General Retzlaff didn't have a great end. We can take his general outfit and his 10mm pistol. There's some silo network security codes for a terminal I didn't see yet, and I asked Eddie to make me some weapon repair kits since they weigh a lot less than the junk needed to craft them. The commissary took some more weight off of me, found a couple more arc welders, Bowie knives, and marked scout armors in the next room. They'll do fine for repairs, and we can open the silo's bunker doors and let chaos ensue. Cause a fuck ton of sentries and turrets are about to follow suit. And this wasn't how I expected to find out that the arc welder's range is a bit shit, but here we are. Some repairs and a Hail Mary later, and this is gonna be a bit of a bitch, huh? Okay, you're not more stubborn than me, gang. Eddie seems to be making a good job of keeping some of them busy, and I almost had it with the other sentry trying to get in this room. After insisting, we get one of them down. Thank God these don't explode after getting destroyed. A little steam pack and a quick save preventing me from having to start all over again. I get the second sentry down, pass through the terminal that would have deactivated at least the turrets, and I'm out of ammo for the arc welder. I tried the Bowie knife, but up close and personal against missiles ain't it. So I tried the Agent Age nail gun, and the health bar practically didn't move. Fortunately, the 10mm has a reputation to uphold and kept the run going. And since the fences were activated, the room where the general is opened some doors to us. And that is as figuratively as it is literally, because we can finally loot ammo. including explosives, even a plasma rifle. But to clear the rest of Hopeville's silo, there are still those turrets and a few more sentries. I decided to make a run for the last room, where I knew even more loot would be. Finally found some ammo for the arc welder, but I was forced to use the last of my stim packs and look at my health. Eddie's looking sturdy though, so I'll just let him weak the enemies. I also found some more food, an army combat armor, 8 items and grenades. And that's when I started providing support to our little floating friend. The turrets completely ignored me and focused only on Eddie. That gave me the opening that I needed to finish off the enemies. Hopeville Silo has been conquered, but most importantly, guess who found a pair of bobby pins? A tool cabinet hands me a third one. I had to use repairs to lower my carry weight, got to level 3, put all of the points into lockpick, found some security codes that are meaningless now, recycled some ammo, and we've got over 1100 caps now. I healed my limbs with the doctor's bag, and we finally get to see the divide in all its glory. And so it begins.
There's your signal. Faint, but there. You came.
Ulysses really watched the world end and thought this needs a monologue.
I'm a courier. Courier 6 was Courier 6. Like you, and not like you. In all the ways that matter.
The only thing more broken to fight through than we're about to see in Hopeville proper is his ability to get to the point. My man really built an entire philosophical belief system around someone delivering mail. But let's sum it up from the beginning. Ulysses was part of the Twisted Hairs, a tribe that the Legion allied themselves with early on, and they were extremely important for Kaiser's early growth in Arizona. But as the Legion grew, so did Kaiser's pragmatism. The alliance soon became moot, and so the Twisted Hairs one by one were conquered, some enslaved, others destroyed. Vulpes, the Frumentarius' commander, led that effort. Ulysses, he was a phenomenal scout. Soon enough found himself working as a spy for the Legion. To the outside world, he was but a courier. To Kaiser, he was to never attack another courier, especially because several others were Legion spies as well. Ulysses was also the one that reported about Hooverdam to Kaiser, and that warned him about the NCR's might, and we all know what happened to Joshua Graham after failing to conquer it. But Ulysses, he saw it. He saw Kaiser cover his second-in-command in pitch, set him on fire, and throwing him into the Grand Canyon. On his next travels as a courier, he saw us, near the Divide, near the place he was dreaming about retiring on, for lack of a better term at least. The Divide is where Ulysses saw potential, where he wanted to live the rest of his days. But the Divide wasn't just a location, it was the people living in it as well. And then he saw it all go up in flames. The package was nuclear launch codes. Soon after, Kaiser sent Ulysses to the Great Salt Lake to get in touch with the Whitelegs, to convince and train them to destroy the new Canaanites. And that's exactly what he did. Under the promise that the Whitelegs would be able to join the Legion if they exterminated Joshua's tribe, they agreed. But they also started braiding their hair like his. It was nothing but a gesture of respect from the Whitelegs, but Ulysses couldn't see it that way. They didn't know what it meant, and he realized how much he's changed since joining Kaiser and his Legion. He kept thinking about Old World America as the answer. Neither the NCR or the Legion seemed fit to occupy that place in history. Once he finished his duties with the Whitelegs, and I didn't find much about Kaiser's stance on this, it seems that he was just allowed to leave the faction. Perhaps Kaiser thought he would change his mind later, or perhaps he didn't want a high-level Frumantari spy second-guessing missions not meant for brutes. He spent some years in Wolfhorn Ranch, and then he was about to accept the Mojave Express's job to deliver the platinum chip to Mr. House. But he saw our name on the list. That's when he confirmed with Johnson Nash that we were indeed still alive. And so, still upholding Kaiser's will of not attacking other couriers, knowing we would take the job if he declined it, he decided that the Mojave would be a fitting punishment for us. That's where we started, with Benny shooting us and taking the platinum chip. And I'll have my revenge on Benny later as well, but for now, this should be enough of an introduction to the Renty boys, so let's keep going. The first thing I noticed is that the marked men in the distance are already aggroed. Great. So I'm just gonna crouch and check the roof. There's a hard-locked ammo box, some more food, I found a sniper rifle, some more grenades, and the Raffinet bedroll kit, which I have absolutely no clue how to make it work. No matter how much I tried, it just wouldn't let me sleep. So I guess it's a good thing that this was out of curiosity rather than necessity. Anyways, the plan for Hopeville is gonna be the same. First, we loot everything that we can without engaging in combat. And then we farm everything that moves for the extra experience. Behind the locked gates, I found the first out of 6 Ulysses' logs. And if I manage to get them all, the fight against Ulysses has a chance to become a fight with Ulysses. So that is something to consider. This first log mentions a conversation he had with Christine. She fixed his recorder as payment for him saving her. They talked about the Brotherhood of Steel, argued about technology, and Ulysses was not moved by her arguments. I got to level 4, kept improving lockpick, took the educated perk, and started throwing plasma grenades at the beef jerky that was too close for comfort. 2 grenades weren't enough. The 10mm finished the first marked man. I found another pair of mini nukes, repeated the strategy, and sure enough, the 10mm was once again needed to follow a couple grenades. This isn't good. This really isn't good. But it is working, so I shouldn't complain. Before I knew it, I was over-encumbered once again. Repairs put me under the threshold, and as for the 3rd marked man I encountered, I decided to give the sniper rifle a go, and now that's more like it. Inside the missile base headquarters building, a Ravager and a Hunter would have been too much for me to handle if Eddie wasn't once again getting all of the attention. Headshot crits turned the tag team into a handicap match, and with pretty much no ammo for the rifle, I discovered that the Bowie knife's not gonna be much of a help. However, and genuinely thanks to Eddie, the H&H nail gun did the job while allowing me to keep my distance. And that's how I got a Blade of the West and several chems and another commissary. We even have an auto dock that we can use, so I'm gonna do that, heal, trade, use the skill book I found, and keep exploring. I found another of Eddie's upgrades too. He can now manufacture small energy cells or microfusion cells once per day. I don't think I'll ever use that 22 silenced pistol, but I'll still take it. And on the outside, lucky me's got a couple stealth boys. But before going after the laser detonator, I want to loot everything in Hopeville. I meant it when I said I'd loot everything for a head start. I found the gate's key, and in the men's barracks, well, we're fighting 3 marked men all at the same time. I'm testing an assault carbine, it's not doing enough damage. I got the bitch slap of a century, gave the plasma rifle a go. Combat is still taking way too long, but I managed to take one of them down, only to die right after. So, I fell back. They didn't follow me outside, I healed a bit with food, went for round 2, finished the first guy, got out of ammo for the plasma rifle, used the 10mm to take the second marked man down, and once again the remaining enemy focused on Eddie. And that's all I needed. There's another commissary here. I've got nearly 13,000 caps already, made it to level 5, got lockpick to 75, dumped the rest of the points into melee, and I got too close to the next batch of marked men, near the gate. The amount of food and ammo nearby keeps surprising me in a positive way. The 10mm keeps saving my ass, even though no good outcome seems to come first try, but by using silly jumps to get off the building and then running back up top, that gave me enough distance, time and space to let my patience manifest my goals into reality. And now that we've got enough lockpick, it's time to go back to the building with the auto dock, cause in that hard-locked safe are the access codes to Hopeville's armory. But before proceeding, this is where I decided to recheck the entire silo and the first area of the divide. And of course, the first thing I found was the terminal that would have deactivated the turrets. That's fine. Honestly, the experience point served me better. I also found the plasma defender, and in that first area, oh, it turns out I missed super stim packs, purified waters, and some more miscellaneous stuff. Back to Hopeville, and let's get into the armory, see what kind of goodies await us. Let's see, tons of ammo, especially rockets. Jesus, I got way too many rockets, and they all weigh too much. There were more bobby pins too, but most importantly, riot gear, and the riot gear helmet. As for this poor bastard, he's just gotten a promotion. Whatever I need to stash can be safely stashed up his inventory, just like you can use Victor's oven in his shack in Good Springs for safe storage. I'm also at a point where I need to start giving Eddie some of the stuff that I do want to carry. We're at 16,000 caps now, and with the 10mm in hand, it's time to go after the laser detonator. Immediately I'm under rocket fire. I hit, timed it, made a run for it, grabbed the Blade of the West, and beat the ever-living shit out of the rocket launcher guy. Red glare is now on the menu. In fact, we can loot 2 of them, and we finally found it. The laser detonator that Ulysses spoke of. Because the divide is what happens when the apocalypse gets another apocalypse and still says, you know what this needs? more explosions. And I agree. This opens the path for us to progress. It also makes several marked men spawn the second you pick it up. But the Blade of the West is feeling like a game changer, though to be fair, the 4 or 5 guys that I'm fighting all came at me one by one. It's not like they all coordinated ganging up on me. And I know there is a first boss right around the corner, but first, this got me to level 6. I put all of the points into melee, took the toughness perk, and used the laser detonator for the first time. We get some beautiful eye candy, I keep making bank, and there's a building in Hopeville we can only go into by detonating a nuke. The women's barracks. All this for a melee skill book, and an ambush. The rest of the loot was just more of the same. But now that I'm starting to have high melee, it seems the tide could be turning to my favor. Past that gate, the marked man kept coming. I kept hoarding, like a lunatic. I even found a warehouse stash key. That is not for a warehouse, it's for a gate, where we'll find the second of Ulysses' logs. On this one, he goes over the backstory I covered regarding the White Legs and New Canaan. After a couple more boom booms, the first unique enemy of this DLC is about to show up. Amidst the handful of average marked men that I made sure to deal with first, we see Blister. He is quite sturdier, has a unique helmet, and plenty of other goodies too. As I'm doing the final rounds of insanely thorough early looting, I found another couple stealth boys, saw a magnificent chain of explosions, and got me a shoulder-mounted machine gun. Next up, the collapsed overpass tunnel.
I don't believe it. Grant actually went to Colonel Autumn and got approval for her damned efficiency guidelines. All experiments will be carried out with the test subject fully active to reduce iteration time. It's barbaric.
As soon as we go in, we are immediately interrupted by Eddie and his memory logs. Dr. Whitley is once again trying his goddamn best to throw Eddie unconditional love, as the rest of the Enclave's asking why Whitley is nurturing a toaster. And just as the log ends, we see a Deathclaw move away from the entrance. This could become nasty real quick. If that Deathclaw weren't programmed to die in one hit from the tunnelers, that is. And if they don't, I'm pretty sure we can just kill it really quickly too. This is just the game cleverly hyping up the menaces we're about to have to deal with. Luckily for us, the game's also kind enough to treat us with the proper tools to go about it. Flashbang grenades. They've got a chance of frenzying the tunnelers. Worst case scenario, we were just given a chance to use chaos and to try and make a run for it. But that is not what I'm here for. I want all the experience points that I can get. And what that... No, that's not right. This is just a weak variant, I thought. And I was right. Cause the venomous and hulking tunnelers that followed suit were an absolute fucking nightmare. I had to keep trying. I had to fall back, heal, while keeping my distance. Try to get the most hits in, reduce their numbers before going all in. And that's still regarding the first couple tunnelers, it's not even overall. Though, to be fair, it is a short tunnel, and it got me to level 7. I kept improving melee, cause I want to max it as soon as possible, and with Eddie distracting the tunnelers, even though I'm not doing nearly enough damage, it's just about enough to keep farming them for XP. Took a bit to take care of all of them, but it was nowhere as bad as the introduction to them. Hell, I even found a flare gun in an emergency kit. And that is a beauty of a weapon, cause it makes abominations flee for a bit. Abominations like tunnelers, but also abominations like Deathclaws, which we're about to find past the tunnel in the high road, but not without Ulysses contacting us once again.
There you are. You went quiet for a time, and that signal came in strong from your machine, like a heartbeat.
Of course I went quiet. You shut up, and I had hordes of semi-cooked spam to cut through. We learned that most of the marked men's leaders were Legion, in fact only one of the 4 was NCR, not that it matters, and that those masks, those blades, it's all for hatred. The marked men, they aren't exactly your standard type of ghoul. They're more of a blind wrath that can only feel an insurmountable amount of pain. Anyways, he goes on to guilt trip us some more as he bare bulls, and he's really clear about it. He's waiting for us at the end of the line. Before I could even react to him leaving, here come the underlings of the second unique marked man. And they're throwing grenades at me. The Blade of the West is taking them down in 3 hits. We've improved so fast in so little time due to the high XP that everything's giving us, and here's Beast. With a shoulder-mounted machine gun. Didn't stand a chance. Dude was just crouching, I kept going around him while spamming the blade. It was embarrassing, really. And further up the road, we'll explore the Crow's Nest. The detonator clears the way, we get some decent loot, reach level 8, a max melee, put the rest of the points into science, and go for the amazing Super Slam perk. Climbing these ruins gets me several aid items, some ammo, and the third log. On this one, he goes over finding the Big Empty by accident, that the Brotherhood woke up something it shouldn't have, and that he barely made it out alive, and with answers he never intended. Oh, and I also found some advanced riot gear. Our armor is awesome now, but unfortunately it's cause we're gonna need it. Deathclaws are coming up next. I tried my best getting up top of the trailer, but the game was having none of it. I tested the red glare. That ended up as a massive failure. So, I just went inside the trailer and holy fuck, why is there like 1,000 different bits of ammo? Ammo has weights on very hard. Jesus, I'm gonna have to hold this back later. As for the first Deathclaw, and just to mess with me, I couldn't get to the top of the trailer, but he could. Or one spawns in there, I'm not sure. Either way, on the third attempt, I sent him flying. Off the road, I'll get the XP, Super Slam's awesome, right? That's how it should have been, but no. For some reason, it just respawned on the road. A second Deathclaw was already nearby, and I went down. This isn't working, so I'm just gonna resort to the flare gun. Make them keep their distance, though that only works for a few seconds before they come back and charge at you. However, knocking them to the ground with the perk and using the flares to prevent them from attacking you makes for the perfect strategy. And don't get me wrong, it still took a couple tries, but our win just became inevitable. Even when a third Deathclaw came up to replace the first. We're gonna be fine. And I also got my wish, I threw one off the highway. Selling all that ammo I found in the trailer to the commissary put me over 40,000 caps. And further up the road, Eddie's got another memory log.
Yeah, all due respect, sir, I think you're making a mistake. We're close to a breakthrough with the Duraframe Eyebots. I can feel it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I understand that we need the Duraframe assets for Hellfire armor, but...
Whitley's gotten bad news. The Eddie series are to be disassembled and reused in the Hellfire power armors because of their Duraframes. And he also remembered that Dr. Grant upgraded his navigational system, so he wonders, would Eddie like to be more like the Eyebot in the show he watched? Like Ralphie? And well, it's obvious that Dr. Whitley helped Eddie escape the Enclave. We're also not done with the Deathclaws. The flare gun is really overpowered, and we're not done with explosions either. Near a bunch of aid items we find Ulysses' fourth log. He talks about how he felt like Vulpes himself was the one ordering and explaining things to the Whitelegs. Once again, he reaches the same conclusion. The NCR, the Legion, they're nothing but symbols of a present with no future. As I explored listening to the holotape, I forgot to pick up the one thing that mattered, the snow globe. I will come back for it. Something else that I forgot was the ridiculous amount of traps between the end of the high road and the next silo, and the third unique marked man, Bonesaw. He caught me by surprise, but I gave him flying lessons, and Super Slam kept him down. This was a massacre, and I should be happy. We're getting really good, but the lift ride with a lot of tunnelers coming our way is gonna be your next challenge, and it's the part of the run that I've been worrying about since I first thought about doing this. As for the other marked men, they were no hassle. Eddie unlocked the path, and our only option of reaching Ulysses is to fire a nuclear missile. First off, he could have just sent me a letter. Second, he could have waited at the entrance of the divide, but no. He really is trying to get the world to do his dirty work for him. So much so that he goes from blaming you for delivering a detonator you knew nothing about to making sure you throw fireworks all over the entire area. Anyways, I got to level 9, rounded repair to 65, science to 50, and Eddie's got more lore in store for us.
Good. You're back online. Listen to me, Eddie. If you stay here, they'll dismantle you for parts. You have to go now. I've uploaded destination coordinates for our outpost in Navarro into your system. I want you to go to the Enclave there, okay?
Destination, an outpost in Navarro. Whitley asked Eddie to go and visit the Enclave in there, and that's it. The memory ends. Oh, right, and by sending the missile, we've unlocked the Courier's Mile. I won't promise to clear it, but I'll visit it later. If for nothing else, I'll at least pick up the unique weapon that it holds. For now, we've got a nightmare of a lift to survive, right after I go back to pick up the DLC Snow Globe, that is. Hell, here we come! Or as the game calls it, Ashton Missile Silo Lift. The first couple of tunnelers didn't pose much of a threat, but these aren't the ones to worry about. As we descend, wave after wave will come at us, so my plan is simple. Stick to a corner, heal, pray for super slam, pay really close attention to your HP, and Eddie better fucking help. Over 6 hits on sturdier tunnelers is way too much, and way beyond my expectations. Not to mention that radiation is affecting us too, by the way. The one good thing about it is that once again, every enemy that goes down gives us more than 40 experience points each. And while it's clear that one-on-one, or well, Eddie's here, so it's 2-on-1. We're golden, so it's more like I'm at the mercy of what the tunnelers will do. And this is also the part where I start to heavily worry about the tunneler queen that we'll meet later down the road. And while the descent takes a minute, the tunnelers aren't exactly coordinating themselves to go after you. Did I expect worse? I did. But I'd probably hate this section even more had I not went for this build or found this weapon. Honestly, a lot more manageable than I expected. If only every single fight in this godforsaken DLC weren't harder than the previous one. Then I'd be able to worry a lot less. In the silo itself, and at this point of the run, I'm only picking up things that are essential or worth their weight in caps. And while there was some good loot, it was completely generic. The odd steam pack, some ammo, nothing you'd write home about. But I did absolutely mop the floor with a sentry, and I found an auto dog. I'll take the free healing, yes sir. I also found another set of basic riot gear, which I used to repair the advanced set. And as we're going through the ruined silo basements, of course we found more tunnelers. At least they gave me enough XP to reach level 10. I rounded science to 65, started improving medicine, got the 2nd rank of the toughness perk, and entered Sunstone Tower. To no one's surprise, this place too is infested with tunnelers. Except now I cannot even afford moving or running because we're fighting in the middle of a tight staircase. Nevertheless, the Blade of the West with Super Slam once again showed me that maybe we do have a chance after all. Against Rawr. Outside and for a change of pace, Ulysses starts another yapping session.
Hopeville, High Road, Ashton, tiny cracks in the earth. Nothing compared to the road carved ahead.
We're finally hit with the realization Ulysses is not the real final boss. It's listening to his voice without dissociating throughout all of the bare bulls, and being blamed once again for being a courier that delivered the package. By another courier that also delivered packages. But hey, now we get to explore one of the bigger areas of the divide. And as soon as Ulysses shuts up, Eddie remembers that he too can rant.
Dad! Hey, Dad! Check out this robot I found!
Careful, Tommy. I've never seen a robot like that before. It might be dangerous.
Here is where we learn about Tommy, the kid that found Eddie when he was making his way to Navarro. Eddie was beaten down. His father warns him that the robot might be dangerous, but Tommy insists, and the dad caves in. But as you can see, Eddie is right here. Well, he's laying in prim, but you know what I meant. So, whatever happened, he didn't stay in Chicago as much as Tommy had hoped for. And right around the corner we find the 5th log. On this one, Ulysses is extremely disappointed, not with the white legs, but with the entire situation. The braids they're copying have no meaning. Unlike what it meant to the twisted hairs. It wasn't just a hairstyle. It's as if Ulysses was staring at the corpses of his fellow tribesmen, as if they had been reborn as hateful, angry ghosts whose purpose became to bow to Kaiser. As he puts it, and I quote, "Another history, gone, carried by me alone." And while this next section isn't exactly small, it's more about miscellaneous loot and fighting yet another wave of marked men. I mean, there are some goodies to it, but you know how Mothership Zeta drags for too long while nothing's happening. Well, this section feels like the 20 minutes that those 2 hours, hour and a half should have been. And I am exaggerating a bit, but I do mean it. But it's not all useless, it's just lengthy. Because over here, one of the things you find is the Elite Riot gear. Now, for some reason, I cannot use the advanced variant to repair the Elite one. Maybe it just requires a higher level of repair, I don't know. It really has been a minute since I focused on repairs in New Vegas. But there is a little something else, the last log.
Have you ever wanted to speak to history? Just to know the why of it? I don't. Not any longer.
He doesn't want to know, he says, right before going on a huge tangent about all that. But I do feel for Ulysses. And I know he's just yet another villain with a big backstory. Too much writing, awesome voice actor though. But yeah, the dude just wants America to carry on. The old world flag and all that it was meant to represent. Not the bear, not the bull, just the old world values. He's seen it all, he's done it all, and well, there sure are a lot of nukes around in the Divive. Too many not to make one wonder. Oh, and then Eddie interrupts the log cause he too loves a good chat. Good thing I can just talk over them and sum it up, but this really annoyed me when I was recording the run. Eddie got cornered and attacked by raiders on his way to Navarro, in the Mojave. He barely managed to escape, but the damage was done. He powered off near Prim. Couple days later, one of the Mojave Express couriers brought it to Johnson Nash, and Eddie's still there, in the Nash residence, waiting for you to patch him up. Oh, and by the way, Navarro's destroyed. The NCR obliterated the fuck out of that Enclave outpost, which is about what might just happen to me here in the Cave of Abaddon. Remember when I was talking about the Tunneler Queen? Yeah. We're gonna go to half through that before getting close to Rawr's cave. The Tunnelers are feeling sturdier. This is taking more than 6 hits. I am yet again glad that Eddie's taking some of their attention, and it's doable. I did die a couple times, but as soon as I saw their pathing and focus be a bit silly, I knew I had this. And you know what else I have? Grenades. I threw in a few in the Queen's direction, each one barely did anything. The whole family shows up. All of my false sense of security left my body. I immediately grabbed the flare gun, and through a couple of tries, I made sure to attack them one by one, falling back when need be, keeping them at a distance through flares and just berserking it. And when it was finally down between me and the Queen, Super Slam was more than the perk, it was a whole spanking. Now that I think about it, I wonder if Rawr's affected by Super Slam. We'll see. For now we reach level 11, I rounded repairs to 75, improved science, made sure I didn't miss anything important, and saw yet another auto dock. Good, cause they're free, and I would rather not have to buy stimpaks later. And in the buried buildings, Eddie's got another memory.
Sophie, hurry! If Reno General Winters catches you, you'll never make it home!
This one is not in order. He is reminiscing about Dr. Whitley, who's wondering who left those old videos playing for Eddie to see. And I'm not even gonna look it up, cause if I do and it wasn't Eddie that decided on his own volition that he wanted to watch a TV show, I'm gonna be pissed. Scents are toasters. Eddie's not a clanker, okay?
Thought that explosion, that building falling deep in the divide, might have been your work. Wouldn't kill you. Maybe close.
Ulysses is back, because of course he is. But this time, whether or not you like Eddie, at least it was your choice to be here with him. Well, not anymore.
Big mountain access code. Ulysses. Command override. Navarro.
We can say goodbye to our little friend for now. Ulysses needs Eddie, cause Eddie's got some nuclear launch codes. I know the game's old, I know it's a cult classic followed by a hardcore audience, but if anyone's new here, come on, you saw that coming too, didn't you? This entire DLC has been a what if the apocalypse had to go through another one. Oh, and when Eddie leaves, all of your items he's holding on to go to your inventory. So now, I get to be over encumbered in Fuckwaresville. Couple trips later, I've made over 50,000 caps only to spend 20,000 caps repairing the Elite Riot gear and helmets. God damn. I stored some more stuff up that armory guy and gripped the flare gun quite tightly. Deathclaws are coming, and even though it's just 2 of them, hey, we've done it before, we should have been fine. But we're not, cause there's a whole unit of marked men shooting lasers at all of us. As in, at both the Deathclaws and me. Even after taking one down and trying to make a run for it to heal safely. Oh, I ended up just wasting flares until the marked men were the ones to take down the Deathclaws. Now that was a bore. But as a reward, we get the biggest test of the entire run, cause past that waterfall, right after an explosion, we'll have a unique Deathclaw to go up against. Rawr. Flare. The Abomination panics and flees. Good, that's not leveled. Blade of the West. And we can knockback. We can spank. Holy hell, I cannot believe this is how it went. Rawr took even less time than the legendary Bloodfly. I mean, sure. This was kind of insane. And on her inventory, we get her Talon. That will let us craft a unique unarmed weapon. Fist of North Rawr. because I do have Wild Wasteland. Otherwise, it would just be called Fist of Rawr. But the only difference is the name. They do have the same stats. Still, nice. What wasn't nice was to see Blade and the other marked man using stealth boys. For some reason, Blade didn't come up to me, so I just kept looting. I also found a terminal where a guy was complaining about earthquakes as another one happened. But yeah, I had to go and find the guy. And there he was, still in stealth. The damage I was doing was atrocious. But when you swing fast upon an enemy that got discombobulated, you know, Super Slam is that awesome every time you're on a one-on-one. And from here, we're basically at the temple's entrance. Jump down a window, find the path, ignore the mine. Damn, forgot the mine. But once that's covered, all that's left between us, Eddie and Ulysses, is some more marked men. And these are as standard as the first ones we met. If anything, they're just a little better equipped. Once that's dealt with, it's time to get into the temple. See, my circling sentries until they perish has become a hobby that got me to level 12. I rounded science to 75, put the other points into medicine, took the finesse perk, and found Eddie. Though getting to him activates some defenses. It's just a sentry and a couple turrets. Nothing to worry about at this stage of the run. We get our companion back, the DLC even throws one last autodoc our way. Plenty more eye candy in here if you want. And it's time to confront the man himself.
So you came, courier. To what? Watch your homeland burn one last time? Kill me, perhaps?
Ulysses' plan is basically, if I cannot have a home, nobody gets civilization.
Destroyed something larger than the bear, greater than the bull. And even when you could have turned away, you brought it again in that machine.
First off, I'm not even from here, I think. Aren't we just passing through the Mojave during this period of time? Second, we went over this. I didn't know. You're a courier as well. Shouldn't you get it? If your girl orders a monster dildo, would you blame Amazon? The fuck? Fortunately, by gathering all of his logs and telling him exactly what tickles his fancy, we can get him on our side.
Our enemies gather outside, shadows of the bear and the bull. They will have found their way in, just as you did. It was always my intention. In case I could not kill you, the marked men would flood this place, cut off your escape. If we cannot prevent what comes, then let us make our stand here. Two couriers together at the divide.
And so it goes, the beginning of the end. I left a little gift for the marked man to appreciate, and then I swung. A lot. With Eddie, Ulysses, and all of the iBots, I'm left wanting more. That's why I'll go on to show Lanius our unique toys. Especially because we're about to get some really cool items. However, and for some reason, I say some reason, it's probably just area of effect, some of Ulysses' iBots have gone rogue. Not that he minds when we put them down. All that's left to do is to decide what to do with the missiles, and obviously, I'll be warming up both the NCR and the Legion's Day. And I tried to see if I could just kill Ulysses, take his items, basically get a second batch of freebies, but no, if you convince him, the game doesn't let you do that.
The couriers finally really did it. They blew up the lands west and east of the Mojave, damning them all to hell. It said, war never changes, and this road has reached its end.
Seems I had auto run on, but hey, I did capture both explosions. And for our efforts, we become instantly accepted by the boomers and the powder gangers. Go figure. NCR and Legion, they hate us. What matters is that we're not just gonna be getting loot, but an extra point we're special as well. I improved agility, got to level 13, kept improving medicine, went back to the Hopeville Armory to get me my loot back, made a quick detour to the Courier's Mile to grab Blood Map, and I'm just gonna be ignoring all the miscellaneous loot and Deathclaws in it. There is something else I would rather test, right after stashing all of my goodies in the oven in Victor Shack, and getting my rewards for beating Lonesome Road after going in at level 1. On the way to a little somewhere, it seems that the NCR isn't too pleased. Oh well, too bad. For them. What did you expect was gonna happen? And who won the lottery?
Yeah! Who won the lottery? I did!
Wolpaz doesn't seem to be mad, or Aster for that matter. I kept going until Novak, got the motel room, took a nap, and made it back south. Cause we're going to Cottonwood Cove, and I'm gonna release the irradiated barrels upon the Legion. And then I'm gonna go to dry wells, and everything is gonna go to shit. Too many enemies, too little patience, to be honest. I gave it a go. Wasn't feeling it, so let's just move past it. I recruited Veronica, went to Red Rock Canyon, kept going after places I'll have to visit for later, and here comes George, the boomer that's not really part of the boomers. He wants to make a bet, and I don't want to forget to come back for my money, so he dies now. A bombardment later, we meet Mother Pearl, I go to Sloan, fix Snuffles, she's a cutie, and in Hidden Valley, Veronica gives us free entrance to the Brotherhood's bunker. Her work's done, she can leave, and I'll take it from here. I passed the cop check, met the other two factions I needed to, went to the tops, and used the Black Widow perk on Benny.
I hear dig from you, babe, and all I can think of is a shovel. How can this be? This ain't forgiveness, it's something wrong.
I love that line. This got me to level 14, I kept improving my steam packs, took the Fight the Power perk, and Benny is not surviving the night. I then met Yes Man, Wulpes shows up outside with the Mark of Kaiser, I go to the Lucky 38, didn't even bother talking to everyone's favorite cyborg mommy, I just used the platinum chip to access the control room. After pretending house is a golf ball, Yes Man got installed on the mainframe. The Securitrons here on the strip got upgraded, I stole some NCR armor just in case, and I made it to the Eldorado substation to install that override chip. That means we're ready for the second battle of Hoover Dam. I'm just gonna ignore everyone. Use the stairs under the dam to get me closer to the offices, recycle a couple tin cans, install another override chip, this time to grant control of the dam over to Yes Man. We're not gonna need a Securitron army for this one, but one thing we'll need is violence. Turns out, it's so much easier to beat the ever-living shit out of your enemies than it is to outrun them. And in the Legate's camp, I remembered that I had stealth boys. I know, it's a really bad habit to hoard things and not use them, so there, I'm using it now. Not that it would make a difference, because every single Praetorian, Legionnaire, or Veteran will all meet the same fate. And they might not be marked men, but believe me, those men have been marked.
An envoy of Vegas, yet you carry yourself for battle. If so, you cannot truly be of that city of cowards.
I took one of every cam that I had in my inventory and we started dancing. Well, they did. It was embarrassing, really. Lanius couldn't even get to the gates after de-aggroing for a bit. He just stood there, watching me mop the floor with him. And here comes General Lee Oliver, doing the slowest of walks, going over nearly every single swear word in the English language. The cigar is a lie, and can you beat Lonesome Road at level 1? Of course you can. As always, remember to check the channel and the playlists for more videos, and if you want to help me out, just click on that like button, leave a comment, or join as a member if that's something you would do. And I'd like to give a big shout out to Steve Whittle, to John Walker, to Glitchdale, and to our newest channel member, Devon Lowry, for their support of the channel. And to you, thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, I hope I'll see you on the next one, and I hope you have a good one. Bye.
And I guess I'll see you around. We accomplished a lot together. It was fun. Take care.